Let us start learning about consumption function. Consumption function is a tool used by J.M. Keynes to explain his theory of income and employment. You already know aggregate demand, aggregate supply are the two important tools used by Keynes. Together with them, there are also many other tools used by Keynes, and this consumption function is one among them. Let us understand what is this consumption function. This consumption function shows the functional relationship. That means the consumption functions say that the consumption level in an economy depends on the income level of that economy. That means the consumption is dependent on income. In other words, you can say consumption function shows the functional relationship between consumption and the level of income. So this functional relationship establishes that consumption depends on the income level of that economy. Consumption is a function of income. Now, Keynes elaborates this principle more further. Keynes say that the consumption level in an economy has two important features. The consumption level in an economy has two important features. What are the features? Number one, even when the income is zero, income is national income, that is Y. Even when income is zero, there is a minimum level of consumption in the economy. There is a minimum level of consumption in the economy. Even when the income is zero, the income level in the economy is zero, still there is a minimum level of consumption in the economy. Why? The people need to survive. For their survival, they require goods and services. So naturally, even when the income is zero, the people need to buy goods and services. So there is a minimum level of consumption even when the income is zero. And this minimum level of consumption at zero level of income is denoted as autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption. Now let us understand what is this autonomous consumption. You know the meaning of autonomous. Autonomous means independent, not affected by any factors. That's the meaning of autonomous. So autonomous consumption means that level of consumption which is not affected by any other factors. You already learned consumption is affected by income. But here at zero level of income, that means income is zero, income has no effect, but still there is a minimum level of consumption. That is the reason that minimum level of consumption is denoted as autonomous consumption. This autonomous consumption is denoted by the symbol C bar. This is the short form abbreviation used for autonomous consumption. Now, the second feature of consumption is when income increase. When income increases, consumption also will increase. When income increases, the consumption also will increase. This is the second feature of consumption. That is also very true. When our income increase, we start spending more amount of money on our consumption. So as the income increase, consumption also will increase. But one point of concern is after a certain level of increase in income, the economy starts saving. That means the consumption level in the economy will be less than proportionate to the increase in income. The income will increase at a particular speed, but the consumption also will increase, but lesser than the increase in income. And how much amount of money the economy will spend on consumption when their income increase depends on a factor called MPC. MPC means marginal propensity to consume. Marginal propensity to consume, or MPC. This is a factor which decides how much of increased income is spent on consumption. Okay. So this, when income increases, consumption also will increase. This is denoted by another term called induced consumption. It is known as induced consumption. That means the consumption is encouraged by some factors. Previously, we learned autonomous consumption. That means the consumption is not affected by any factor. That is autonomous. Now, induced consumption. Induced consumption means the consumption is affected by some factors. Which factor affects the consumption? Obviously, the income. So income affects the consumption, and that level of consumption is known as induced consumption. But how much amount of increase in income an economy will spend is decided by the MPC, marginal additional propensity capacity to consume. The additional capacity to consume, MPC. Accordingly, this induced consumption is indicated by the symbol BY. Here B stands for MPC, Y stands for national income. Accordingly, by looking into these two features of consumption, we can rewrite the consumption function in this way. How can we rewrite? C stands for consumption. C equal to C bar. C bar means autonomous consumption plus induced consumption. Induced consumption is denoted by B, small letter B, Y. Y means national income. C bar means autonomous consumption. B means MPC and Y means national income. This is the second equation of consumption function. The first equation is C equal to F of Y. This is one equation, and the elaborated with very broad equation of consumption function is this. C equal to C bar autonomous consumption plus BY induced consumption. So these two formulas you have to remember.